Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I have a new background. Do you lot like it? I filmed a video on how I made this. I'll probably release it within the next few days, so stay tuned for that. But today I'm bringing you my weekly Newcastle United update. I'll start with our two results over the past week, so the FA Cup third round 2-0 defeat to Arsenal, and then the 1-0 loss to Sheffield United. Sorry in advance for that. Honestly, I'm just going to keep it brief because I don't want to relive that shocking performance, but it does need talking about. Then I'm going to talk about Steve Bruce's future at the club, and I'll cover some transfer updates, and I'll end with a little match preview ahead of the next Arsenal game, which is on Monday. Do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get started. So, the Sheffield United game. In a nutshell, I genuinely don't remember watching a worse performance than that. The first half was truly shocking. I realised early on, okay, yeah, now we've hit rock bottom. I have a number of problems from Tuesday. First up, we were taking on Sheffield United, and with all due respect, this is a side who are yet to pick up a league win. Relegation candidates, 15 defeats in 7 games. No wins, just 2 draws and 15 defeats. The worst start to the season in Premier League history. And they got their first win against us. I think going into the game, given this record, what was the need to field a back 5? If we were up against, say, a Liverpool or a Man City, by all means, shut up shop. But against a bottom of the table side, what was the thought process behind that? I mean, if we got off early on the front foot, we bagged a goal or 2, and then we just defended our lead, surely that's not an impossible task with a bit of organisation. Were we not aspiring for that? Surely after the spirited performance against Arsenal, which was just last weekend, our lads could have gone into this clash with the bottom of the table side with a bit of willpower, some self-belief, you know, the clear desire to grab the 3 points. We looked far from that. And secondly, I have questions around team selection. I don't know why Matty Longstaff and Matt Ritchie were sitting on the subs bench. Also, after the solid display of fitness against Arsenal, surely Andy Carroll could have started against Sheffield United. I mean, he came on far too late. I think it was in the 76th minute. It was done and dusted by then. The morale was rock bottom, and the body language of the players, it just said it all. I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised with Andy Carroll in that Arsenal game. I really, really was. I mean, to last 90 minutes plus the extra time, it shocked me to the core. I didn't think he still had it in him, and he gave 110%. He carried us through the game. Aside from any tactical criticisms and some painful missed opportunities, we actually challenged Arsenal at times. Martin Dubravka was back like he had never left. Elliot Anderson, he got some game time. He looked quite tidy. If Andy Carroll had a bit of composure in front of goal, it would have been a different story. But all in all, the display, it exceeded my expectations. And I would have liked to see Andy Carroll just support Callum Wilson in this Sheffield United game just a few days later. He could have been the pillar of strength in attack. He demonstrated that ability against Arsenal, and that was in the absence of Callum Wilson. In the Sheffield United game, did you see the first 10 minutes of the second half? Newcastle's possession was 12%. We're just 8 points from the relegation zone, and we failed to win in the last 8 matches. Shockingly, Steve Bruce's job doesn't appear to be on the line. After the result, Steve Bruce was even asked if he'd spoken to Mike Ashley, and he said, "I speak to the CEO, Lee Charnley, and we have a conversation 2-3 times a day. That's normal, that won't change." For me, a number of things recently have just alarmed me with regards to the management of our team. The kind of things that confirm your suspicions that we cannot possibly progress any further under the current circumstances. We just cannot. Getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup to Brentford in the manner in which we did, that gave me a reality check. This Sheffield United shocker, again, it just reminded me that the positives that present themselves on the odd occasion are purely down to the quality within our squad. In terms of the direction of our style of play, the brand of football, you know, how we desperately need to establish this organisation, we're on the gradual decline. Luck has run out. We can't ride the wave of security any longer. And more importantly, we don't deserve to just bank on lucky points here and there with terribly inconsistent displays. I know I've said this before, and I'll probably say it 100 times again. We don't deserve this type of football. The inconsistencies, the embarrassment, the humiliation, the worry. I want to look forward to seeing us play. I want to see effort. I want to see desire to win. I want to see a clear strategy to be on the front foot, not the chaos we're presented with every week. If Steve Bruce's job really isn't in jeopardy, I'm concerned. I just don't see how we can salvage this. I don't think he's the man to utilise the talent we have to take us ahead from this mess. And along the way, unfortunately, we won't be attracting ambitious new players. The morale of our existing players will continue to plummet. They'll feel answerable to the constant criticism. I don't think it's as simple as just having the spotlight on Steve Bruce. Our players, particularly the long-standing, servants to the club, the leaders, Jamal Lascelles, Matt Ritchie, Isaac Hayden as well, they give genuine, honest answers, and they'll all be stuck in this rut. Can they express themselves on the pitch and lead the squad to their full potential? No. And it's really worrying. I feel like the issue has just intensified this week with the pundits and the football personalities also questioning Steve Bruce's future at the club and how he's out of his depth. I think I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I'm just going to feel more and more negative, and I've tried to just switch off from the pessimism I felt on Tuesday, which was the night before my birthday. Not a good feeling. Anyways, let's move on to some transfer updates. Honestly, since last week's big transfer update video, there aren't really any solid developments in our transfer activity. Obviously, there's stuff happening behind the scenes, but a lot of it hasn't been shared with the public. As I discussed, the dead wood needs to be shifted. A loan deal for a creative midfielder is absolutely essential this transfer window. Amongst other needs, I think the midfield should be the priority. Some extra squad depth, it could work wonders amidst all of this unrest. But honestly, as I mentioned, I just worry that the players we are targeting may not find the move appealing due to the current circumstances. So anyways, last week I spoke about Josh King, Hamza Chowdhury, Sidibe, Fikayo Tomori and Brandon Williams. Now this week there are a few new names that are doing the rounds. Newcastle has been in touch with Napoli fullback Faizi Ghulam. Well, not him, his agent. And we were linked with him in the summer. We'll have to await developments on that story. Dele Alli is an interesting one. I've not actually spoken about this before. So it's obviously no secret that he's just not gelling well with Jose Mourinho at Spurs. He's struggling for game time, and the reports say that Newcastle are keen on getting him in on loan. I think he'd be a great addition, but honestly, given the options that Dele Alli potentially has within the Premier League, I think we're going to find it incredibly difficult to sway him our way. What do you guys think about that? Comment below what you think about Dele Alli. Andy Delort, he's another name that's being talked about this week. He's a striker. He's currently in Ligue 1. He's playing for Montpellier, and he has actually scored 8 goals this season, quite promising. French press have stated that both Newcastle and Wolves have inquired about his availability. Interesting, but to be honest, I'm just more concerned with our midfield because the lack of service I've seen to Callum Wilson so far this season is ridiculous. I mean, what's the use of firepower without squad cohesion and fluidity? We need the engine of a competent midfield for that to be successful. So anyways, moving on, Man United defender Marcus Rojo, his name has also done the rounds this week. Newcastle have expressed some interest in him, reportedly. I saw these rumours actually last month and I didn't really think much of it, but the more I read about it, the more I think that this link could actually progress. So Rojo is out of contract. He hasn't played for Man United in over a year. He's 30 years old. He's keen to leave and play for a club and get some first team football, and he's keen to stay in England. Sheffield United are also interested in him. So my thoughts on this, honestly, his age isn't really on his side, and I've said this time and time again with regards to our ageing squad. I ideally want our new reinforcements to be younger with a long-term vision. We need to feed the youth into these positions for long-term benefits. You know, Lascelles, Fernandez, Cher, Kieran Clark, Paul Dummett, these lads are all like 28 years plus, apart from Lascelles who's 27. I want exciting young talent with potential and bags of pace on the back line. So that's my opinion on that. Now let's talk about Dwight Gale. I mentioned last week that Gale is out of contract in the summer, and there are actually several clubs interested in him, most notably Fulham. I saw the team sheet for the Arsenal game. Callum Wilson was rested and Andy Carroll started instead of Gale. At that point, I thought the worst, I'm not going to lie. I thought, okay, maybe it's a done deal. Maybe he's heading out. And I mean, Gale doesn't get game time as it is. And as a backup striker, if he's not starting in the absence of Callum Wilson, surely that's saying something. But the latest reports today say that Steve Bruce is not willing to let Gale go, even if, you know, the club run the risk of losing him for nothing at the end of the season. So I would like to think that's true. I think he has shown this year that he knows how to find the back of the net, and he does just need minutes, I think. Even though Andy Carroll put in a good shift against Arsenal, in my opinion, Dwight Gale, you know, we can depend on him more as a backup striker, and I personally don't want to see him going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, I'm going to finish with a quick word on our upcoming game on Monday night against Arsenal again. Like I said, you know, in the cup clash, Newcastle managed to play 90 minutes with a score at 0-0. Not only did Andy Carroll keep our defence in order, he also led the attack, and we actually showed attacking intent. Now, given that Arsenal have found form recently, our display was a lot braver than I expected, and honestly, if anything, I'm just happy that we're playing Arsenal again so soon, because the players of ours with football intelligence will have just familiarised themselves with the strengths and the weaknesses to play to. And if we ever needed a bounce back performance, it would be now. Again, I don't expect to win, but I do expect a response of some sort to the Sheffield United disaster. There's not much to lose. Our players will be humiliated and shell-shocked even from the past week. I think the pressure will just force a fearless effort. I could be wrong, but I just have that feeling for some reason. This week, Alan St-Maximin returned to training, and it's a pity, you know, he's still going to be out for several weeks until he can return to the team because of his post-COVID recovery. I would have loved to see him play in a game like this. As for Matty Longstaff, he has to start, and I would also like to see more of Elliot Anderson coming off the bench perhaps. What are your expectations of the Arsenal game? Let's have a chat in the comment section below. That's it for today's update. Guys, thank you so much for watching again. Remember, I'll be uploading a video within the next few days to show you how I made this new backdrop for my filming. So subscribe for that and for more Toon content. Do like this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!